Hello and warm welcome to yet another edition of the Final Take with me, Seni MK Marina. After a long break, we are finally back. A lineup of guests from all walks of life. It's your favorite show, bringing you latest news, analysis, and expert opinion on issues happening in the country and beyond. My guest today is Mariama Khan, who just declared her candidature for the 2026 presidential elections in December. So enjoy wherever you are watching. This is the Final Take with me, Seni Marina.
Tune into the Final Take with MK Marina every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.
If we are just joining in, whether you are in Banjul, Brikama, New York, London, or anywhere in the Gambian diaspora, today is a very special edition. We are honored to have, Mariama Khan in her first major media interview since officially launching her bid for December 2026 presidential election. A distinguished Gambian scholar, cultural activist, filmmaker, poet, and now a presidential aspirant. Mariama Khan, welcome to the Final Take with me, Seni Marina.
Thank you, Seni.
Welcome to the Final Take with me. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you, Seni, for hosting me.
Okay.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. And thank you. I guess this is your first major media interview since you declare your intention to also join the already field political landscape in the country. Dr. Kayu has built an impressive career as a faculty member at Lehman College in New York, teaching African civilization and women in African society. You also returned to political spotlight, recently, and then you launched your movement called Maral Kendo, meaning a good governance in Mandinka. Tell us about your new movement and how is it going?
It's going okay. The movement is motivated by the need for the right kind of leadership for the Gambia. It's a promise for a leadership that delivers, a leadership that is trustworthy, a leadership that's competent, enlightened, and meaningful, and a leadership that is relatable. Relatable in the sense that it understands the problems of the Gambia. It understands the nature of leadership in the country for the last decade and a half. And it understands what are the needs for building a prosperous, advanced future for the Gambia and Gambian people. And it also understands how important it is to make the family at the center of a Gambia that's promising, a Gambia that's future-oriented, and a Gambia that works for everyone, every Gambian for that matter.
Absolutely. Mariam, a lot of people will be saying, Gambia has never, given chance to a woman seeking the highest office in the country. That's the office of the president. What dynamics are you trying to change, as a woman who has experience in civil society, in civil service? You were once a Secretary General of the Gambian Civil Society. What do you intend to, change the dynamics in that aspect?
The first dynamic we want to change is to break myths in Gambian politics. The thinking that a female candidate cannot win. We're here to say that's not a legitimate conclusion, and we are here to prove that. The other dynamic that we want to change is the way the country is run. Because in our appreciation, people talk about a new Gambia, but are we really in a new Gambia? If you look at our national security, public safety, it has significantly deteriorated. I'm sure as someone who works in the media, you must have come across stories in which women express fear about going out at a certain time, leaving their homes at a certain time. I am from Brikama, but I went to school in Banjul, and for a long time. But I was leaving Brikama 5 a.m. in the morning to go to school in Banjul. And there were times my father would go with me, for example, when I newly started. But later, I was just going by myself. There was no sense of fear walking from where I live in Brikama to the market to go take the school bus to go to Banjul. So, but now many women fear doing that because they are afraid that someone is going to harass them on the road. They are afraid that someone may attack them. They are afraid that someone may steal things from them. So these are serious problems, especially for women. If women cannot leave their homes comfortably at any time of day or night to go and run legitimate businesses, the people you see early in the morning are people who go to the furrows to water the vegetable gardens. So they are the women you see taking their produce from the furrow, from the vegetable gardens to the markets to sell them. So if these women no longer have a sense of safety, they don't have a sense of security moving about, that's problematic. And more recently, you've had more and more stories from Facebook and other places of people being attacked in their own homes. That was rare here. In fact, I cannot remember in the past hearing even one incident of a case like that. But now you have people being attacked in their own homes. So that shows a deteriorate, a serious.
Yeah, let me give you instances. A recent security. Let me give you a recent example. A young lady who was killed by someone inside a bureau d'essence, money exchange bureau in Brusubi, and this is the second instances within 2 years we have seen people being killed broad daylight. So are you concerned, or what kind of plans do you have to ensure that the security and safety that Gambians enjoy, is brought back? Should they give you an opportunity to elect you as the new president? What plans do you have to, work on the security situation in the country?
Those were not the only cases. You had the case of Mary Mendy, or was it Mary Mendy?
Yes, a student at St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. And a guy with him who were killed in a mysterious way. And in addition to homicides, you've also had people being involved in strange car accidents in this country, which were all strange occurrences if you are to analyze the history of the country in the past 10, 15, 20 years. So the programs we are going to do to step up national security and public safety, we are not going to announce them here. Because you may be aware that the Gambia is a country where people are fond of poaching other people's ideas, and then they will go and present them as their original ideas. But what we're going to talk about is that national security and public safety are important issues for a Maral Kendo government. If you look at Maral Kendo, our ideology and the philosophy, which revolves around the family and enlightened, competent, meaningful leadership for the Gambia, we have 7 core values, which are, in fact, give us an idea, give people an idea of the policy directions that we'll pursue as a government. So in the first 4 core values, they're about people, they're about the human capability aspects of the Gambia. But if you look at value 6 and 9, which is on national, the 9th one, which is on national security, our idea of national security has been expanded to not only include public safety, but also key areas like health, energy, environmental protection, etc. So globally, what we intend to do, or what we are promising, is a secure Gambia, where women and all other Gambians can freely leave their homes anytime they wish to go and carry out legitimate business or whatever business they have at hand. We are also going to ensure that the different security institutions in the country, the military, the intelligence, the police, the Navy, fire and rescue, the drug enforcement, etc., work in coordination with one another. And because our idea of national security has been expanded to include like health, you know, if your country is sick, you are not a secure country. This is why we are bringing health under national security. We are also bringing some aspects of agriculture, like the protection of our crop genes as part of national security. If your crop genes are damaged or you have crop genes that are not viable, that will lead to a sick population, and it's going to hamper food self-sufficiency. So we're going to ensure that those areas are properly taken care of. Food safety is another area which our national security policies are going to include. So in other words, the programs we have are strong enough to deliver security to every Gambian. They are adequate enough to deliver safety to every Gambian, women, girls, anybody in the country.
Absolutely. For those tuning in, this is the final take with me, Seni Marena. In the studio today is Mariama Khan, who announced her bid to contest for the highest office of the country in December presidential election. Mariama, Maral Kendo, you know, it's mean good governance in Mandinka. But you made mention of family unity. It's at the core of this your manifesto. manifesto. You have said that a nation of broken families become a nation of broken people, and that loyalty starts at home. What specific policies would your administration implement to support and rebuild Gambian families, especially in the face of political division, materialism, and betrayal that you describe?
We will only discuss our policy direction. We are not going to talk about specific programmatic interventions that we are going to do for that. And the reason is very clear. I've already mentioned that the Gambia has become a country where people poach ideas from right and center, and then they go present them as theirs. We have great ideas for protecting the family. We will ensure that the Gambian family is once again a cohesive family, a stable family, and a family that caters for the growth of every individual in the family. Because of our divisive politics now, a politics that thrives on dividing people, you see, families are very fragile in contemporary Gambia. Any home you go to, people are fighting each other left, right, and center. And how families are at the global level in the nation affects how the leadership is on top. Just like the way the leadership is on top will affect families at the micro level. So we tend to see leadership in a very narrow sense, but leadership is very critical. It affects the rest of the state, the nation. So because of that, we're going to ensure that the top is in good condition, and the bottom is also equally stable to support what is on top.
Absolutely. Mariam, a lot of people will be like, this is politics, but your manifesto, focus more on broken families, how to rebuild them. Others might claim that that is more about raising awareness than being a political factor. What do you think? How do you blend family into politics at a time when, as you said, many families are having issues politically?
To rectify, our manifesto is not likely based on the family alone. We've enumerated 7 core values, and the family is one of them.
One of them.
You cannot divorce families from the state. If you know the history of how the modern nation state started, it started with families coming together, to say, now let's try to create an institution which would become the state. So they created the state, they delegated responsibilities, they were able to organize all the aspects through the family. They created avenues for food self-sufficiency, and they also structured an economy where you have some individuals, for example, being food producers, then you have others being buyers and consumers of the food. Then they also put in place a tax system. So saying families are not related to the state, to presidency, I think that shows how we think about the state. How families affects what the state will be, and how the state is, or the leadership of the state is, affects how families are. So the family and the state are mutually self-reinforcing. When there are hiccups with one, it's going to reflect at the top. When there are families are divisive, or the politics at the top is divisive, it affects families. Because, as a journalist, I'm very sure that you would be aware of some of the tricks that are being played in this country, where individuals give money and other benefits to people for them to conduct subversive acts against people they think are threats. They make them do all kinds of things. Black magic, they use them for black magic and everything. All these things are happening here. You, as a journalist, I'm sure you are aware of some of these realities. So what we're saying is this has to change. The family becomes a core area in Marrakeño's development philosophy. But we have other areas that include the economy, agriculture. We've already talked about national security. That includes protecting the talented and the gifted and women's work in the country. And that's one program we purposefully inserted in our Marrakeño philosophy doc because it's very unique. So if anyone takes it, no, hey guy, this belongs to us. We're going to create the Institute for the Talented, Gifted, and Women's Work. Our country, we've had an adversarial relationship with knowledgeable people, with competent people, with gifted people. Just like some people tend to devalue the important roles work that women do in the Gambia. If you go to the NACOs, it's the women, and they leave their homes 5 a.m., 6 a.m., or even 4 a.m. to go to the NACO, water their gardens, and then they come back. Some of them would still go to the market to sell food that's going to feed us as Gambians. So we need to value women's work. So we need to also stop the adversarial relationship we have with knowledgeable people, because when people are knowledgeable, every country in the world made use of its human capital in order to develop. But in the Gambia, if we are making all our talented people, if we are frustrating them and they leave and work for other countries, look at how many smart, competent, and intelligent Gambians are in America. Look at how many smart and competent Gambians are in the UK. And look at other countries, Germany, name them, Sweden, name them. And most of those people...
Mariama, I wanted to say that even yourself, when you left the Gambia like some 13 years ago, or I would say some 15 years ago, you came to the New York, and where you are currently serving as a lecturer. But then now you return back to Gambia because you saw a gap that you wanted to fill. So tell me, how do you intend to fill this gap? Do you think that Gambians will give you the opportunity to serve them with ideas that we have never seen before? And what's your motivation of moving, from New York, you have a very full politics. You all know.
So,
are you there?
I'm there. I'm hearing you. The audio was cracking, but I'm here with you.
Can you hear me, Mariama?
I can hear parts of your words. I did not hear everything because the audio was cracking. I've heard about the question about what's my motivation.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
It seems. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Anyway, for those joining us, this is the final take with me, Seni Marina. In the studio is Mariama Khan, who have declared her candidature for the 2026. It seems Mariama is back. Mariama, can you hear me now if back?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my question is, Yes, my question is: you talk about how endowed Gambians are. You know how brilliant Gambians are. Gambians are very successful outside. I take example of your own self. You serve as a Secretary General, in the Gambia. Later, you move into New York. You were teaching at a college for many years, and you decided, to throw your heart in the boxing ring to seek for the office of the president. What motivates you? And how can you bridge that disconnect between the Gambian diaspora, and those on the ground, so that we have a change that will be impactful and meaningful to Gambians?
My motivation is that I can deliver the kind of leadership that contemporary Gambia needs. My motivation is I can provide the trustworthy leadership that the Gambia needs. My motivation is that I can provide the enlightened leadership that the Gambia needs. My motivation is that it's a responsibility. My motivation is that standing for president and being president for the Gambia is a duty. My motivation is that I'm caught for it. So basically, those are my motivation.
Okay, so the Gambia right now is facing a lot of challenges in governance, in security. What's your assessment of the current state of governance in the country, and how will Marel Kendo salvage the Gambians? Should it be given the opportunity to, be in office?
You've already said it, that the Gambia is facing serious problems nowadays. So you've already made that assessment. What I would like to elaborate on is Moral Kindle is a promise of competent, enlightened, and meaningful leadership for the Gambia. It's a leadership that will deliver its promises. It's a leadership that's here for the interests of the Gambia and Gambian people. It's a leadership that understands that political power is for service, not domination. We're seeing how power is being used in the wrong ways in the history of this country. So what Marakendo will do is it's going to provide the right kind of leadership, and the right kind of leadership, enlightened leadership, competent leadership, and leadership that delivers will affect every aspect of the country. This is what we're going to deliver. So we have some clear direction where we want to get headed. So as I already mentioned, we are not going to disclose our specific programs. We're going to just talk about the policy directions because here you've seen many cases of where people poach other people's ideas and then they go, because they have a propaganda machine behind them, and then they go present them as theirs. So to avoid that, we are not going to discuss our specific program.
But what we will discuss, Madam Ka, this is an opportunity. Okay.
What we're going to discuss, one, we've in fact, in terms of relationship with the diaspora, we've discussed one policy intentionally in the philosophy and manifesto document that we're going to set up an institute for the talented, gifted, and women's work. So that institute is going to support work and defend talented and gifted Gambians and women's work. It's going to provide them all the necessary support for them to exploit their work for the interest of the Gambia and Gambians. So that's an area where we're going to ensure that we'll have a brain gain for the country, not the usual brain drain we've been seeing for the last 1.5 or 2 decades in the country. Like all smart people, you see them leave the Gambia because they get frustrated by people.
The tyrant, the politics in the Gambia, especially for women, it's very challenging. How prepared are you to, scatter these barriers, and make a headway? Because we have seen that when women join politics, people try to frustrate them either by, digging their past stories or trying to use stereotypes to discourage them. How prepared are you for this, given the context of Gambian politics?
Fortunately for me, I don't have any skeletons in my cupboard to hide. I've lived my life well. I am not a perfect human being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an angel, but I'm
Right.
comfortable with anyone bringing out something that I've done. If I did it, bring it out. That's part of the test of leadership. My principle throughout my life,
Mm-hmm.
which I got from my father, was if you don't want people to know about anything, do not do it. And that's how I've been living my life.
Okay.
From when I was very young, as a young girl, to where I am now. So being frustrated because I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to hide. So if you know, if you have anything, bring it out. It's, there's nothing that that someone would do that is new. That does not mean that
Okay.
I'm being
Okay.
morally relative, but
Okay.
with my character, I'm comfortable with my character and with who I am.
Mhm. Yeah. Mariama, you are probably the third woman right now who made their intention clear to contest for the president's election. The former Vice President Aja Fatoumata Jallo Tambajang has made an announcement. The Golden Party era has a running mate, a woman, Nene, also wanted to contest. Don't you think that it is time for women to set aside their difference like men and come together as one unified movement and seek the mandate of the Gambians than rather all of you going your way? What do you think? Are you open to a partnership with other political parties, more so women leaders, to, because a lot of people say we have seen, three presidents, all of them are men, and they have not done enough, for Gambia. And people say, look, it's time for us to give opportunity to women presidential candidate and see. But others argue that Gambia, like the United States, where you have been living for the past decade, are not yet ready for women president. Don't you think that Gambia is ready for a woman president? And any plans to partner with this other woman to see that at least the change all of you are fighting for, is something that is visible?
What the Gambia is not ready for is the continuation of inept leadership. What the Gambia is not ready for is the continuation of corrupt leadership. What the Gambia is not ready for is the continuation of a leadership that promises and does not deliver. So, if there is anything that the Gambia is not ready for, those are the things the Gambia is not ready for. But the Gambia is ready for a competent, trustworthy enlightened woman leader that can effectively steer the affairs of the country towards the right direction. And that is what I'm here to offer. So when it comes to doing evaluation with other candidates,
women leaders,
other women leaders, when I come to that, I'll think about that and we'll make the right decision when a situation like that happens. But for now, we are focused on our candidacy, and that's all we are working on.
Okay. Your economic and social agenda is captured in an abbreviation record. That's reduction, economic advancement, and cultivating agriculture. Order, making responsible citizenship, and disciplined diplomacy. Which of this element do you see as the most important priority for tackling poverty, food insecurity, and corruption, and why?
All of them are important. For any state to work well, the different areas of the state have to be all given equal importance. When the economy is functioning well, but security is bad, what happens is that businesses are going to be looted. When the economy is running good, but education is poor, educational quality is poor, companies or even the government is not going to have the right kind of workers, well-trained workers to work for them. So in the end, the economy is going to tank. When there is no discipline, people are doing whatever they like doing, the economy is going to be affected because people, the kinds of services that are going to be provided are not going to be responsive to the needs of the customers. So haphazard service provision is going to affect any business because customers are going to run away. So when it comes to diplomacy, our relationship with other countries are very important, especially with our neighbor Senegal.
There seems to be some background noise at your end.
You know, I told you I have a lot of kids here. So the kids, they've come back from school, from Dara, and it's just a hassle. You know, kids do what they want to do. They are the boss.
No worries. Maybe they are also part of Maral Kendo. So no worries.
Yeah.
Those are the feature of Maral Kendo. So
exactly.
On a serious note, you know, so you're good. Thank you. Go ahead.
So when there is order, we also emphasize on order making.
Go ahead.
when you look at how things are run here, you see so much disorder in every aspect of the country. So order is very important. For example, being in the US, you know that if you go to a passport application center, within 6 weeks, if you submit all the required documents, you should be able to get your US passport. But in the Gambia, to get a passport, you have to bribe someone, or you have to go to someone that you know. So why can't we do something like that in the Gambia here? That in 6 weeks, go to a designated passport application center, submit all the required documents, pay your fee, and then in 6 weeks, maximum time, if everything is correct, what is submitted is correct, you will get your passport. You know, when you apply for an ID in New York or in any other state in the US, you know, within a couple of weeks, you're going to get your ID in the mail. So there's nothing like going there to give someone money to get an ID card, a national ID card, or to bribe someone. So those are some of the changes that we are going to do, and they are all related to the economy. Yeah, they are all related to the economy, just as I've already explained, with education, educational quality, with health, etc.
Okay. Mariama, youth development also feature predominantly with mentoring for cultural awareness, resilience, and innovation in the face of social media and technology challenges. As someone who teaches African civilization and women in African society, what message do you have for Gambian youth who feel delusion with politics, and how would you involve them directly in your Maral Kendo movement?
I'll tell them there is hope here, and they should support Maral Kendo. Youth are the backbone. They are not just the future of the country, but they are the backbone of the country. And for every human, if your backbone has a problem, you cannot stand strong. So the programs we have for the youth are intended to ensure that they're competent to face the challenges of the modern world. They're also competent. They have the right psychosocial skills in order to navigate the world. They also they are youth with strong endurance. What we see, like when you go around in different countries, or if you are familiar with the development ideas in different countries, like you have countries focusing on their youth, on the young people, because they've realized that social media, exposure to social media has some hazards. So you have to be able to contain those hazards in order to develop a kind of youth that we can hand over the country to tomorrow. So the youth are a core area in our proposed interventions. And we are going to engage them by talking to them.
Absolutely. Many thanks for that answer, Mariama Khan. We are almost at the end of the interview, but we still have at least 20 minutes to go. And we have a lot of discussion happening because you are in the Gambia. You have seen firsthand how the situation is happening in the country. So that brings me to my next question. You call for honest service, ethical leadership, and leaders who step aside when they lose public confidence. How would your government promote accountability, transparency, and anti-corruption measures in a practical way that goes beyond rhetoric?
I'm not a person who does mere rhetoric. I'm a very practical, hands-on person. And that is why I have different skills.
But we have seen a lot of politicians or political leaders, have been very rhetoric, saying things, without doing it, So that's why I posed that question.
Do not judge people by their words, judge them by their actions. Unfortunately, I've had a record in this country. I served as Secretary General, Head of the Civil Service. I've also served in other offices in the country, senior government offices in the country. What we've seen, for example, as Secretary General, Head of the Civil Service, I knew how much money was being wasted through kickbacks in travel. When I became Secretary General, Head of the Civil Service, the first action I did after consultations and discussions with relevant authorities was to set up the travel office. And what the travel office did in the short term that it was established under my leadership was to save the country so much money. Because then people no longer have the path or the opportunity to go to a travel agency and tell them, okay, the ticket is costing 100,000, so make it 300,000. And then those people would later give them the rest of the money. People no longer had opportunity to do that. They had to order all tickets online. And online, you know, if you are traveling from Seattle to New York, you go to the website of any airline, the cost is there. We had a card, you buy the ticket online, yes, and then that's your ticket. Go fly and do whatever you needed to do. So that's one practical example that I would like to give. So I'm not someone who feeds on rhetoric. I am someone who is practical, who is hands-on, someone with ideas that are translatable into action.
Having served as Secretary General under one of the very, I will say, brutal regime, excuse me, it must be very hard working with Yahya Jammeh. What's your experience working with Jammeh to that highest level, like Secretary General? And, you know, you talking about making a lot of efforts to, you know, cut spending on travel. What's your experience working with Jammeh? Because Gambians have this perception, you know, they think anyone who works with Jammeh, especially to a higher position like Minister, Secretary General, you know, you must be able to condone a lot of things he do. Otherwise, he will show you the exit door. What's your experience working with Yahya Jammeh?
I don't want to invalidate other people's experiences, but what I'm going to talk about is my own personal experience. President Jammeh, from my personal experience, was someone.
Yes.
My personal experience, that's what I'm talking about. Someone who supported talent and he supported good ideas. In fact, that was why he appointed me as Secretary General, head of the civil service. Because when I was at the PMP Policy Analysis Unit as principal policy analyst and later director, he was very impressed with my ideas and my hands-on approach to the work. So he was very supportive. I was never fired as Secretary General, and later I can even send you a copy of the letter showing that I was moved to the office, to the Personnel Management Office as PSPMO because there
so
were
what happened? Because a lot of people didn't understand. They thought you were fired, but you were not.
I was never fired from the office of the Secretary General. I was never fired from any government role I was serving in. What happened was there was some problems with the public service reform, and this was it was at a critical stage. I was Secretary General, and they needed a competent individual to go and redirect the public service reform. President Jammeh decided to redesignate me as Permanent Secretary, Personnel Management, because the public service reform was directly under PMO. That was why when I was serving as Permanent Secretary, Personnel Management, I was being paid the salary of the Secretary General.
Wow.
So
and you were not Secretary General then?
Yes, because I was moved from the Secretary General position to go and handle this urgent and critical area, which was the public service reforms, because President Jammeh knew about the excellent ideas that I had, and which are very practical and hands-on. And because of that, I can show you a letter that confirms that I was never fired. So when I was at the PMO already, when I returned from the US from my studies, I had already started discussions of starting a film institute with a great professor, American professor. So the intention was I'm going to start working for some time, then I'll go and start my film school project, and there were a couple of other projects that I was going to run. So I started working, doing the groundwork on that. By the time I was redesignated to the Ministry of Finance as principal economist and head of the Aid Coordination Directorate. So when there was problem at the policy analysis unit and the head was moved, they thought, because of the great work I've already started at the Aid Coordination Directorate, they decided to post me there at the policy analysis unit. So I was principal economist, then later I was director of the unit. And eventually from there, I became Secretary General. So my plans for this institute had advanced by the time I was PMO, and I also had admission to go and study, do a PhD at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. So already I was going to leave anyway. So eventually, when I was at the PMO, then I was supposed to now kickstart this project in place. I decided to resign. So I only got problem with Jammeh after I resigned, because the day I submitted my resignation letter.
So Jammeh didn't like you to resign?
Yes, because he wanted to retain.
He didn't want you to resign.
Yes.
Because he needed you.
Yeah, the day I submitted my resignation letter, that evening they sent current ambassador to France, Ibrahima O. Kamara, who was an excellent boss to me prior to that. They sent him to our house in Brikama, and he came there and he told me, they asked me to ask you to withdraw your resignation letter. I said, I cannot withdraw the letter because this is a decision that I've taken because I've thought about it. It's on personal grounds. I have nothing against President Jammeh or against the government, but I already intended to do A, B, and C, and I think this is the right time for me to go and pursue the things I wanted to do. So then Ibrahim did his best to convince me to withdraw my resignation.
Mariama, do you know that resigning? Do you know that resigning under Yahya Jammeh's time was a little bit crime? Where do you get the courage to resign from a Secretary General post to go and pursue, your educational goals?
No, I resigned as PS PMO, not as Secretary General. I was designated and taken to PMO with a Secretary General salary, and I was there. But then my plans have matured, and I don't see it as a crime because you're free. You are an employee of government, but you also have free will in terms of what you want to do outside that employment. So I exercise that freely because normally people tend to say different things. The Gambia civil service then was also some kind of a rumor mill. People like to say all kinds of things. They will make rumors here, rumors there, and they'll make up stories against people. So it was under that general climate, and I don't think that has anything to do with Jame. That has to do with people,
Okay.
people's attitudes. So I don't see resigning as any problem. And I when I thought I needed to resign, I did it. And after that, I went through whatever I needed to go through, and eventually my documents that were taken away from me were returned. So that was it.
Why was your documents taken away from you just because you resigned from your position? Who was responsible for that?
The NIA, who came to collect the documents from me, said they got directives from the Office of the President to come and collect all my travel documents from me, and to also invite me for an investigation. So, from what the NIA said, it was the Office of the President.
Okay. Mariama, you have a inner working of the Gambian civil society, civil service. Recent calls have been made that there should be a total overhaul of the civil service because the civil service is so primitive and outdated and is not in line with the best international best practice. Do you agree that the Gambian civil society needs a total overhaul?
I wouldn't say a total
And what is
overhaul.
Maral Kendo
Yeah.
going to do with our civil?
You can't completely destroy the civil service. The civil service was based on a foundation. So anything without a foundation easily collapses. So we should retain certain foundation under which the current Gambian civil service was constructed. What we need are serious reforms.
But you
So
agree that it needs reforms. Okay.
reforms.
Okay.
I would not say a complete overhaul. A complete overhaul is destruction. We are not here to destroy. We are here to build. We are here to build. There are certain things that have been good
Right.
in the civil service. There are certain things that have been good in the civil service. We have to retain the good ones. But what we need to throw out of the window are the bad practices that are there, and the inefficiencies, and the corruption, and the bad governance, bad management. That is affecting some aspects of the civil service. So, Maral Kendo, we have strong.
But Gambian. Okay.
No, carry on, carry on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, for Maral Kendo, we will change what needs to be changed. I have a significant knowledge of the operations of the civil service. So, being president of the Gambia, with that rich knowledge of the civil service, I myself would be an important asset in changing the direction of the civil service. So I know incompetency is not going to be tolerated under my government. I know people must work. They must do the work they are being paid to do. So corruption will not be tolerated.
So, Mariama, do you think also that Gambia need all those 20 or 25 ministries that have been recreated and kind of duplicating each other's job. We have seen when the new government came in, they created new ministries like Ministry of Public Service, Ministry of Public Delivery, and then we have a whole lot of ministries. Don't you think that Gambia need just a sizable, effective civil society, a civil service that is just small, proactive and result oriented, than having more than 25 ministries who are duplicating each other's work?
I agree with you. We need a slim government. You don't need new ministries, because new ministries expands the payroll. And this is money.
Yeah.
Instead of you giving it to pay for jobs that other people are already doing, they should be invested in health. Go to the Gambian public hospitals. People with kidney disease are having trouble having access to dialysis machines. You hear stories of 2 babies sharing one cot at the delivery places.
Yeah.
So these are where the imagine, would you go to any US hospital and see a situation like that? No. Would you go to a hospital in the UK and see something like that? No. So if those people, it's happening, what is correct is happening in those places, why can't it happen in the Gambia? It's all people. So the difference is those people have the
but
right
Gambia government will tell you we don't have but the government will tell you, Mariama, that we don't have money. But you see the same government, going flying all over the world, using millions of taxpayers' money, attending conferences that do not bring any word. And I understand that when you came in as Secretary General, that's something that you fight to stop, but it was so difficult for you.
No, it wasn't difficult for me. The office was instituted. I was working. It's only that when I was moved to the PMO, it was killed. So the person who replaced me didn't let the office continue, so it was killed. But under me, it was working, because I knew the importance of that office. I've seen at that time one ticket costing $300,000. Can you imagine that? Just one ticket.
Only one ticket?
$300,000 is not $300,000 is in today, but then. So that shows you there's a serious problem.
Wow.
So the office when I was moved.
Okay, Mariama Khan, the new, we say the new kid on the.
No, I've been long enough. I'm not new. I've been long enough. No, I've been. I've had a back seat, but when it comes to government, at least I have a record in government. So I'm not a new kid. I've been around for quite some time. Huh?
No. That's a political term, like a new entrance into the political field. That's why I'm teasing. I'm saying the new kid on the block. But I know you are a veteran, somebody who have served, his government in various capacities, is well experienced to run a government on his own. So, Mariama, many thanks for those brilliant questions. We have only 5 minutes to go. I'd like to run on, because a lot of people are viewing, comments are coming, somebody wanted to say that Mariama is a good leader, interesting conversation. Your Brikama people are also watching, good to see Mariama and Seni. So I know from this interview, a lot of other media houses will come in to talk to you because this is your first major interviews you announce your candidacy for the December presidential election. So going forward as an independent candidate or movement-based, do you have plans to build the organization structures, funding, grassroots support, and needed to compete in December 20, especially against established political parties? Let me repeat this: established political parties like the NPP, the UDP, the PDOIS, and etc.
We are in this race to win. And we have no fear about any institution. Let me put it that way. Of course, we have plans to raise funds. We are discussing the appropriate modalities with appropriate financial institutions for supporting my candidacy. Because I'm running as an independent. I'm not going to run as a political party. And this is part of the myth breaking we are going to do in Gambian politics, God willing. So I'm not running as a political party. I'm running as an independent candidate. Maral Kendo is the philosophy under which that I'm running. So I'm not going to do any registration process in the rules of the IEC. An independent candidate does not need to register. So that works fine for us. But of course, politics is about numbers, and winning the presidency is about votes. So we have plans to go and do whatever we need to do to promote our candidacy, to get people to buy into the great promise and the practical promise that we are here to deliver to the Gambia and to Gambian people. So later we'll be sharing with you when we establish the appropriate fundraising and funding possibility. We'll share with you for you to share it with your viewers. So I would like to thank everybody who watched the program, and I would like to thank you and your wife too for I can see that this is what we want in Gambian families.
She set up the studio for me.
Yes, spouse is supporting each other, husbands and wife being supportive of each other, but not being rivals in the home, and that influences the kids. No, I was very impressed that your wife came to help you set up. This is what we need. This is what we knew in the past. The father is there doing what he needs to do. The mother is on the other side, and they raise great, healthy, stable children. But now, people are fighting everywhere. Old marriages have problems. Divorce rates are very high in the Gambia. Kids have no control. Then we don't raise them any longer. We leave social media to raise our kids. So we have serious trouble right now. So thank you.
Mariama, one more, two more before we let you go. Critics might argue that your ambitious reform, focusing on moral, cultural, and family healing, are idealistic. You know, they are in the face of economic constraint and political realities. How do you respond to those concerns about feasibility, and what makes you confident in that Maral Kendo can deliver meaningful change? They think it's kind of idealistic, you know?
You know, all practical things start with ideas. If you look at a country like Japan, you know, Japan was a country that before people think, oh, you know, they think some other thoughts about the country. But look at how Japan developed. Now, if you're talking about countries that are very disciplined, Japan is one of them. And if you go to Japan, you'll be very impressed with the level of discipline in the people. We had the Singapore dream. Yeah, we had the Singapore dream on the Jawara. Go to Singapore and see how people are. So these are countries, at some point, they were just like us. They've experienced indiscipline, they've experienced massive laissez-faire attitude, they've experienced family-related issues, but they were able to structure those in order to build a country that we are all proud of today, even though we are not from those countries. You hear about Japan, you say, okay, you know, Japan, in your mind, it represents a strong nation, a well-developed nation, a nation of well-educated people. So those critics, they are critics, but it doesn't mean that their ideas or their questions about what we are trying to do are illegitimate. Our questions, our program, our ideas, they are practice oriented. And again, as I said earlier, I'm not someone who does rhetoric. I'm very practical and hands-on. And already, if you know the history of the world, before the Enlightenment period in the history of Europe or the West, there was so much decadence in society. There were different problems in society, but they built society in order to build the kind of state structure that we see them have today. So for people who have a greater sense of the history of the world, they know that these are legitimate ideas. They are practical. They are needed if we are going to have a Gambia that's going to be advanced, a Gambia where everyone is going to have a strong sense of belonging, a Gambia that every other country in the world will be proud of, or will be proud to associate with.
Many thanks for that brilliant answers to my questions, Mariama, for your first major political interview since you announced your candidacy on Christmas Eve, framing it not just as a quest for power, but as a moral call to prevent what you call a deepening social collapse in the Gambia. So your platform emphasized family as the foundation of national strength, respect for scaredness of life, protection of talented and women's contribution, cultural reduction, re-education per se, and a holistic record agenda for economic and social renewal. That's Mariama Khan, the new presidential aspirant in the Gambia. Mariama, many thanks for, the opportunity to join us at the Alcamba Times. But before I let you go, your final message to Gambians watching from the diaspora and from home and elsewhere around the globe.
We are here. We are hope. We offer leadership with courage. We offer leadership that will deliver its promises. We offer leadership that's competent and enlightened. And they should support Moral Kendo. They should support our campaign. And they should also vote for us. So I would like to thank everyone who viewed this program and right now who joined us and who later viewed the program. And I would like to thank you once again for inviting me.
Okay. Thank you. Wherever you are joining, that's the final take that brought us to the end of this inspiring and interesting conversation with Mariama Khan, former Secretary General lecturer, poet, cultural ambassador, you call it, a filmmaker. She is speaking to me live from, I will say, the capital of West Coast region, Brikama, Sateba. Many
Yeah,
thanks once
from
again,
Bricks.
Mariama Khan, for this from Bricks. Brikama people, they say Brikama is the nerve center of the Gambia, but I will
That's true.
disagree. We'll have that conversation next time. I believe Kudang
Okay.
is the nerve
No,
center of Gambia. Anyway, I will be a bit biased, but
no, Brickham has always
but
been.
many thanks, Mariama, for joining me on this.
Pleasure.
Okay, I
Pleasure.
agree, half and half.
Pleasure.
Anyway, many thanks once again on a serious note for giving us this opportunity to be your first media interview, and then do have a wonderful evening and stay in touch, and all the best
Thank you.
with
Thank
the
you.
Maral Kendo movement ahead of the crucial December 2026 presidential election. Many thanks once again, Mariama, for being on the final take with me, Seni Marina. Guys, that's the final take with me, Seni Marina. As I said in my introduction, that was Mariama Khan, the former Secretary General and the head of civil service under President Jammeh. She is throwing her heart in the ring, in the boxing ring. We have seen a lot of political parties, all announce their intention to contest what we call a crucial December presidential election. That will also bring a rematch between father and son, political godfather Usainu Dabo with President Adama Barrow. We also seen recently the by-election in Kiang, where the NPP win both seats. We hope that let's see how that will translate into the grand combat in December election. So join me next week for another interesting episode of the final take. I have taken break for one reason or the other, because the show has been very regular and consistent, but I have not been on air for the past months. But I assure my readers and listeners that come before the election, we'll be bringing you a lot of interesting guests to discuss, and analyze key issues happening back home in the Gambia. Until then, do have a wonderful Saturday and enjoy the rest of the weekend. And then tomorrow, you all get your popcorn and also watch the African Cup of Nations final between the Taranga Lions of Senegal and Atlas of Morocco. Morocco is taking on Senegal for the African Cup of Nations. So we hope that the victory will be ours. West Africa will again I will be biased, but because I love my West African neighbors, that's despite the fact that we are all rivals in football, but they are ahead of us right now. So we wish Senegal good luck in tomorrow's encounter. And then bye-bye for now, and do enjoy your weekend and the rest of our coming programs on our website. And also don't forget to follow our social media platforms, the Alcamba Times, www.alcambatimes.com. That's our website. On Facebook at the Alcamba Times. Also on Twitter, Instagram. We are all on this social media platform. So enjoy our platform. Is the best place for news in the Gambia. Just like today when we had Mariama, granted the Alcamba Times as his first media interview. Can you imagine? That's huge for us. Someone who has been, very prominent, in the leadership roles in the country. So anyway, that's the end of this show. Do have a pleasant weekend, guys.
Tune into the final take with MK Marina every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.